The first story we're going to talk about is in relation to the Epstein files. If you remember, Donald Trump mentioned, I don't recall if it was on the campaign trail or shortly after he got elected or shortly after he got into office, but he mentioned how him and the Republicans would be releasing not only the Epstein files, but the John F. Kennedy files as well. I didn't believe this, especially the Epstein files, because of course Trump and now and Elon Musk both have connections to Jerry Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. However, as we at the time of this recording, we're a bit longer than a month into Trump's presidency, and his honeymoon phase, I feel, is waning quicker than previous presidents and even quicker than his first term. There is a delay in the release of the Epstein files because of Attorney General Pam Bondi, and there are Republican commentators who are online asking, why won't they release the files? They said they were going to disclose them right away, and they didn't. I don't know how. I don't know if these folks are just fucking stupid or if they're unaware of Donald Trump's immediate connection to Jeffrey Epstein, but that's the reason why these files aren't going to be released by a Republican administration. But let's go ahead. Let's tune to the story. This is courtesy of Newsweek.
Multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still fighting to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well.
That was Pam Bondi, of course, the Attorney General of the United States, on a Fox News program, giving her take on this whole situation. How, yeah, the people that are on Epstein's list and in his flight logs have no basis to hide anymore. I think that the list should have been released originally. I obviously don't think that Jeffrey Epstein should have been whacked in prison. All of the folks that are associated with him deserve to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that includes Donald Trump, who was not only Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for a decade, but was on the flight logs no less than 7 times. On Thursday, February 20th, Attorney General Pam Bondi indicated that files pertaining to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are set to be released. The fact that they are yet to be released is raising questions from Republican politicians. Newsweek has reached out to the Justice Department via an online contact form outside of regular working hours for comment. Why it matters. Epstein, a financier and convicted sex offender, was found dead in a cell in New York's Metropolitan Correctional Center in August 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. His death was ruled a suicide, but it prompted a wave of conspiracy theories due to his well-documented connections to public and powerful figures. Estimations of the number of girls abused by Epstein vary, with accounts ranging from a few dozen to more than 100. However, the total number of victims may well be much higher than this. Hundreds of pages of court documents, which people named with ties to Epstein have been unsealed. Many of these people were not accused of wrongdoing and were already public. On the campaign trail, President Donald Trump suggested he would be open to releasing the, quote, Epstein client list. This rumored list is believed by some to implicate high-profile figures in sex crimes. That is a key distinction to make here. Not everybody associated with Jeffrey Epstein was involved in his ring, but the closest people to him, the people flying back and forth to the island, were definitely involved in some nefarious and illegal activities, including none other than Donald Trump and the Clintons. At the Conservative Political Action Conference, Bondi was asked by conservative commentator Benny Johnson about when the list would be released. Bondi said that she had been briefed on it and is not able to talk about it publicly, but added that Trump's directive will be followed. Shortly after this, conservatives and Trump supporters cheered Bondi's comments, and some expressed the belief that the list may be released in a matter of hours. Now, less than a week after Bondi indicated the files would be released, Republicans are questioning why the files are not yet public. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who recently announced that she will lead a task force focused on declassifying federal secrets, included documents related to Epstein, took to X, formerly Twitter, to question why the files are yet to be released. She, again, is the head on this committee and plays a role in prodding the administration to release these documents, whatever legal proceedings may be necessary. So too did Representative Tim Burchett, Senator Mike Lee, and Representative Mike Collins. For years, online rumors have claimed without proof that an extended list of Epstein's clients is in quotes, exists. In 2014, dozens of Epstein associates were named in 900 pages of court documents, which were unsealed by a New York judge, including Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and Prince Andrew, a member of the British royal family, who were also, I believe, on the flight logs as well. This is why it was such a bombshell story. Not just that they knew Jeffrey Epstein, because a lot of people knew Epstein because of his status among, wealthy people and celebrities, but again, that they were directly connected to him. And how Donald Trump said that he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for more than a decade. The documents were not the rumored client list, and many of the people named were not accused of any wrongdoing. The Trump administration will likely to continue to face pressure from his supporters to release the list. The list is not coming, guys. I don't know. I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This list is not coming out. Donald Trump is not going to allow himself as a sitting president to be revealed as one of Jeffrey Epstein's most valued friendships. It's simply not going to happen. And to all of the Republicans who expect it to happen, who also support Donald Trump, please stop being so naive. Recognize that your big wet leader is not going to comply with this order. I don't think he's even going to release the JFK files either, even though both of these should be released. We should know who whacked John F. Kennedy. We should know who's connected to Jeffrey Epstein. This was Representative Luna on Twitter. She said, quote, on February 11th and 19th, the GOP Oversight Committee sent a letter to the Justice Department asking for status on releasing the Epstein files as well as the JFK files. The DOJ has not responded, reaching out on X because we can't seem to get a response from AG Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, what is the status of this document? Many of these documents were ordered to be declassified by POTUS. Speaking hypothetically, if this were to happen, I would be really curious as to how the Trump supporters in Congress and in the House of Representatives would react. Because the evidence is out there. I've mentioned it already, Trump being on the flight logs. I've mentioned his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, the guy has pictures with him, and Elon Musk, pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell. How would the representatives and senators react to Trump being implicated in this? Because I have a strange suspicion that it would come out and nobody would give a fuck. Because every time additional evidence has surfaced, it hasn't mattered to anybody. And I think it's really shameless and it's really disgusting that these representatives would probably just glance over all of this, glance over the insidious and illegal sex trafficking that Donald Trump played a role in.